What's up guys, Handish here, and today we've got a bunch of different news things I wanted to round up regarding Destiny. We're going to talk about some of the items coming in the Dawning event. We also have some items which suggest Crimson Days is going to return. We have a few further hints about new content we can expect to see in January, and I wanted to round up all of the changes that we know are being worked on, and I wanted to throw a couple of things in about Xur, as well as some new mod slots available in Curse of Osiris. So first up, yesterday we learned about the Dawning. The Dawning event is going to be running from Tuesday the 19th of December up until January the 9th. And we can get a look at a few new items coming in this event. So Christopher Barrett actually tweeted out an image of the sword for the Dawning, which is pretty cool. I don't know if there are going to be any other weapons, but obviously we have this one right here. And I'm hoping it will be something we can actually earn through gameplay, a quest or something like that. Obviously with it being event themed, these things can sometimes come from the microtransactions and everything, but I wouldn't anticipate Bungie would do that, especially at this point in time. We also have a couple of other items for the Dawning. So we have the Boon of the Dawning, which is a consumable item. When this is used during a strike or crucible match, all players receive a gift at the end of that activity. Only one gift consumable may be used per player in an activity. We also have a gift in return. Your hard work in completing a Dawning gift for someone has been rewarded with this package of Dawning delights. And in the blog post yesterday, Bungie spoke about giving and receiving, and we'll be able to get a gift schematic from the bazaar and then go out to different planets and craft unique gifts for the vendors. And when we do this, we'll receive a gift in return, which is pretty interesting. Bungie also spoke about Dawning engrams, and Spiffomatic found one in the API, so it says this present contains one Winter's Delight item, plus one Holiday Spirit item, one Legendary item, or one Exotic item. So obviously this refers to the Eververse inventory. It's interesting that they say Winter's Delight item. Perhaps that could be a new engram that's coming in this event. Obviously on top of that, we do have all of the new armor they showed off yesterday. It's been a bit of conversation about Sparrow Racing League because we haven't heard anything about it. My guess at this point is that perhaps it's not coming back for the winter event at least. Maybe they'll do something different in the summer. Interestingly, in the book for the Art of Destiny 2, we do see this header image right here, which is actually called SPX Racing. The image also shows some previous SRL stuff, so this could mean nothing, but also the fact that SPX Racing is listed there could be, you know, a different game mode or a different take on Sparrow Racing that we will see later on or something. Next though, I wanted to point out some new exotic ornaments coming into the game. So we have Go About Your Business for the Sweet Business, and then we have the Prism. This is an ornament for the Prometheus Lens. We've also got Diesel Punk for the Wardcliff Coil, and the Carina Nebula for the Graviton Lance. Now a lot of people assumed that these were actually Dawning items, but if you take a look at the icon on them, you can actually see that that isn't the same icon as the one for the Dawning. And then if I bring up the Crimson Days icon, you can see that they're actually the exact same. So it appears that these are in the database for a future event, and Crimson Days will indeed be returning in the new year at some point. Obviously this has previously been used as a kind of Valentine's Day event. We had the Crimson doubles and everything like that, but the fact that these icons are indeed the Crimson Days icons, then it would suggest that these won't be available in the Dawning and will be for that future live event. Also thanks to Sir Deca on Twitter for actually bringing this to my attention. Speaking of the future though, Chris Barrett actually hinted at some stuff they may be working on. So Giggle Monster tweeted he's more impressed with Masterworks than he originally thought, but he would love to see Masterwork armor as well. And Christopher Barrett replied, I'd love to see some Masterwork armor soon too. And he also put a winky face, so this is obviously a very clear suggestion that it's something Bungie have in the pipeline. Also Gathalion tweeted that he'd like to see an improved mod system, and Christopher Barrett replied, I'd love to see a simplified and much more interesting mod system too. And then he actually edited that and said streamlined as opposed to simplified, because obviously they don't want everyone to think, you know, the systems are going to be super basic. I think what they're talking about though is, you know, evolving the system a little bit. Of course, inventory space for mods and things like that isn't super huge, so perhaps ways to improve legendary drop rates or reduce blue ones or upgrade them easier. General system changes would be good, but they did list in the previous updates that early next year they will be taking a look at this stuff. So what I've just mentioned, including the Masterwork armor, could be on the cards for the January update. Previously they've confirmed that they want to improve prestige rewards. On top of this, they're looking to launch private matches. They're going to be having things like quitting penalties for PvP, the emote interface, which was actually ditched during December to focus on other issues, exotic duplicate protection, and they also also said that a PvP ranking system was a major focus for next year. So obviously, looking at all of this stuff, including those hints from Chris Barrett, I think we could be in for some pretty awesome content in the new year. I really think Bungie need to, continue to focus on improving the game. I think what they've done with the December updates has been very beneficial, but you guys know me. My main thing right now is that Bungie need to keep talking, and they need to keep dropping updates like what we saw in December. If we could have, a couple of updates per season at the very least, and that's on top of sandbox tuning changes and all of the additions that we get in DLC, then I think the game could be, going somewhere, genuinely. But that only works if this cadence of communication continues. Obviously, there'll be a bit of a winter break here, so, things will quieten down a little bit, but in the new year, I think we could see some awesome stuff. The next thing I wanted to talk about, of course, we've heard that Mayhem is actually returning, which is really cool. I'm glad there'll be something different inside of PvP. Considering that Mayhem has since been confirmed, though, I want to jump back to a tweet from Trials Report. Of course, they work with the Destiny API quite a lot, and they said that they found texts in recent updates regarding new game modes for D2, and those would include Rumble, Mayhem, and Elimination. So obviously Mayhem has since been confirmed. Rumble being in that list and Elimination is definitely something which I think will excite quite a few players. Of course, there being remnants or information about these modes in the API doesn't necessarily mean they're absolutely coming, but considering out of the three, Mayhem has already been confirmed, I think there's certainly a chance we could see Rumble and Elimination sometime in the nearish future. Spiffomatic on Reddit also outlined a whole bunch of new additions in the API, including 24 new ghost shells, 13 new types of engrams, which is interesting, and 16 new types of bounties, and that's on top of a whole bunch of other hidden items. If we look at the classified items currently listed in the database on Destiny sets, we can see classified, and they're all listed as Titan, so presumably as Titan pieces, but this is, basically some kind of cover-up. Interestingly, after the update on the 12th, all of the icons went black right here, but last week when I was looking at this, there were actually a whole ton of yellow icons for classified items, which would mean that they were actually exotic, and this probably also means that in the first December update, these were unintentionally kind of displayed with their actual rarity, and then since they've patched it to remove them so that we can't see what they are in the database. Either way, there is a lot of content and hidden items. So now on to a couple of other things before we end the video. Xur will be selling his new Fated Engrams as well as 3 of coins starting today. So for many of you, by the time you watch this video, Xur will have arrived. Of course, I'll post a video on my channel about that. But Fated Engrams will enable you to collect an exotic that you don't currently own in the game. And this is a 100% rate of, earning an exotic you don't currently have. We don't know whether it's class specific or whether it, is account wide, although typically you only get exotics for your class these days, so we'll have to wait and see. Also though, 3 of coins will grant you a buff for your exotic drop rates for 4 hours, so these new items will definitely make Xur a little bit more interesting and useful, hopefully, for many players. Kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Having the Fated Engram there in that moment is quite exciting if there's something you're still hunting. At the same time though, you can simply spend those shards and then you lose that gameplay time that you might have spent hunting for that exotic in the wild. So I'd be curious to hear what you guys think about this new system. Another thing I wanted to point out is that there are a bunch of new armor slots that you can actually use for specific mods, and this was updated in Curse of Osiris, so essentially you can now stack more of a certain mod types. You can also put specific mods in slots that weren't previously available, and there's a Reddit post from Zevion right here which is really useful, and he's created this chart showing which types of mods can actually be applied to different armor pieces and things like that. These aren't absolutely all of the new mods, there are a couple of other ones, and you can see we'll take the Art Grenade mod on the top, right there, that it can be applied to a chest, legs, mark, cloak, or bond. So if you're wondering exactly what can go where and want to, spend some time considering different setups, then I will link this Reddit post in the description below. It's pretty useful stuff. So there we go, guys. A little bit of a longer video this time, but there is a lot of different things to talk about. I hope you have enjoyed the video as always. If you have, a like is very much appreciated below. Before I go though, I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Brad, who's actually been working on a book behind the science of happiness and the habits that kind of break down why our brains do what they do. And I know this is an unusual one, but essentially the book is about, understanding happiness, understanding ways to kind of manage the way that we think. And sometimes, it's not always easy to feel particularly happy. Whatever you do in your life, wherever you're at, it can be really beneficial to understand, outlook and the way that you think. So that's why I wanted to just give a shout out. He's actually working on an audio book. Some of you might want to check it out. Brad's been working really hard to put this book together. He's got a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience in this field. And he asked me if I could support the project and, you know, try and get more kind of gaming focused people on board. So I definitely recommend that you guys check it out, and it's something you can kind of listen to and chill and do other stuff at the same time. So I will leave the link to the audiobook in the description below, and you guys can check it out if you want to. Anyway guys, I appreciate you watching and listening to the end as always. If you're new to the channel and you do want to see more Destiny 2 content going forward, then feel free to hit that subscribe button. For now though, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all very soon.